everybody. Welcome to the Xinsto Career Series. This is video 2 of the Helpdesk Technician intro. And in this video, we are going to be going over PDQ inventory. If you recall, in our last video, we had it installed, but we talked about PDQ deploy. So we're just going to go ahead and move forward. So where we left off, our last video, part 1, we covered in installing and using PDQ deploy. We deployed some software packages to computers on our LAN. I know we got into packages, but we didn't really talk about how to create those. Those will be coming in a later video, I promise. And we talked a little bit about how PDQ deploy integrates with PDQ inventory and vice versa. So what we need for this particular instance, we need our technician PC or server. As I mentioned in the first video, you'd want to have your PDQ tool set installed on a central location, ideally, if you're not the only admin in the company. We need another PC on the LAN to inventory. And obviously we need PDQ inventory, the free license, and again I'm going to go over all the license features that are locked because Admin Arsenal is so polite in just showing you what the features are, not removing them or hiding them or anything. So once you enter a license, those features that are locked immediately become unlocked and you're free to use them. And then about 20 minutes of your time. We're going to try and keep this video a little bit short. So what we're going to cover quickly setting up PDQ inventory, scanning local PCs, viewing details about the PCs, how to create some filters and groups, and how to integrate PDQ deploy and PDQ inventory. So let's go. Alright, so here I am. I'm on our technician machine. Already had it open. Like I said, we're going to make things go by a little bit quicker. To get PDQ inventory, just go to adminarsenal.com. We're going to go to products, and under products, we are going to go to under inventory your company computers. We're going to get inventory free mode, or if you want, you can start the inventory enterprise trial. We'll be talking about enterprise a little bit later. This is just, like I said, and keep saying, these are just basic videos to help you get up and running with some tools. Alright, so now you know where to get it. Let's get going. Alright, so here is PDQ inventory. I've already pre-installed it because it's exactly the same as PDQ deploy. You just enter an administrator, a domain administrator credentials because it needs to reach out and log into the machines. I've already added a machine because it can take some time, and again, you just need to have those ports opened that we talked about in the last video. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to show you how to get started with it. I've already added a PC, but to add a PC, just click on Add Computers, and you'll see there are two functions that are grayed out. These do require having a license for PDQ inventory. So Network Discovery and Active Directory Sync, you can't import computers that way without a license. But what we can do is Active Directory Browse by Name. How cool is that? That's great. So thank you Admin Arsenal for making that available. That's a handy feature because you may not know the name of a PC, but you may know where it is in Active Directory. And so here we go. As you can see, we have a bunch of different servers here. We have APO1, we have an internet server, we have a proxy server, root CA, we have a SQL server, and so forth. However, and then we also have our two PCs. However, I'm not going to be running it on any other computer. It just takes a little bit of time, and I don't have any of those staged. So we're just already going to pretend that I typed in VPC 1000, or I already added VPC 1000. I will, however, scan it. So, as you can see, we get a very high-level overview of the PC in our list. I'm in all computers. You can see I get a very high-level overview. I can see that it's online. I can see that it's running Windows 7 and VPC 1001. That is my technician machine. So as you can see, it's running Windows 8.1. You can see that it's on Service Pack 1 and it's been up for 5 days. I'm logged into it. The last successful scan looks like it was yesterday at 4:55 p.m. VMware is the manufacturer. It's a VMware virtual platform, and it's got 4 gigs of RAM running an Intel Xeon CPU. Alright, that's all fine and dandy. Let's say this information is out of date. How do I update it? Because you always got to make sure you have the latest information available about a PC. Well, it's real easy. Click the scan button, do a standard scan, and it's going to go ahead and queue everything up. Now, while that is doing the scan, I'm going to talk about PDQ inventory. Why do you need PDQ inventory, and what is it? Well, as you can see, it is an inventory of our servers and our PCs that are on our network. And once it's done scanning, we're going to go into in-depth, and I'm going to show you all the different information that PDQ inventory has on your PC or on PCs on your network. Why would you need this? Well, as a help desk technician, Mary from accounting calls and she says she's having issues with her PC. That's great. You don't know which PC Mary's computer is. All you know is it's somewhere, but you don't know where. Not to worry. One of the nice things here is we got a filter. So if we had like 1,000 computers in here, we could just type in, Mary. Obviously, we don't have anything, so it's not going to show up. But what I can do, I can type in Travis, and there we go. As you can see, it highlights my username, saying that I am the current user logged in onto that. So if that was, Mary, it would highlight Mary and it would bring those up in the list. So as you can see, VPC 1000 is done scanning. So let's view the details of it. Let's see all the nitty-gritty details. So we'll just double click on it. Here we go. This is just giving us a high-level overview of the computer, so we can see its name, its full host name. We can see who's logged in, when it was even last booted. So we can see this thing started up on June 9th, 2016 at 3:08 in the morning. We can see its current IP address. We can see what time zone it's in. Details about the operating system. And because it's joined to an Active Directory domain, we can actually see where in the domain it is. This is also very helpful information. Let's go back to the example of Mary. Mary calls in, she says that, hey, I'm not getting this accounting drive. My PC was replaced the other day, and I just don't have this accounting drive that I need. Well, let's say we come in here, and let's pretend that there would be another OU in Active Directory. So I come in as a help desk technician. I see it's in Xinsto computers, workstations, desktops. But Mary said she's in accounting and she needs the accounting drive. I know that all the PCs for accounting need to be in an accounting OU or organizational unit. I can see the problem right away just by looking here. I don't have to go digging through Active Directory. I don't have to ask Mary complicated questions. Hey, what's your computer name? Hey, do you know this about your computer? We can serve the customer a lot faster. Again, we can see the last time it logged in, and even when it was joined to Active Directory. If this was a physical machine, we'd be able to see everything about the hardware. In this case, we can see that it is a Intel Xeon CPU. That's just because it's picking up the host server's CPU. Same thing with the memory and BIOS information, so we can see if it's on the latest version of the BIOS. How often should it scan? Who was the user that scanned it? And down here we can see PowerShell information, Internet Explorer, the architecture, and if it needs a reboot. And this is also where it comes in handy. Active Directory tools can't tell you if the computer needs a reboot. PDQ inventory, as you can see, shows it has the needs a reboot flag set to yes. This is helpful because you might come across that customer that has a weird issue, and all you do is you bring up PDQ inventory, pull up their machine, and you can see that it needs to be rebooted. It hasn't been rebooted in a while, and that might actually solve their problem. And you'll learn as a computer technician that the majority of the problems are solved with a reboot. And you can come in here and see that yes, a reboot is required. Maybe there's some pending updates. Maybe an application was uninstalled or installed, and for whatever reason the PC needs to be rebooted. And you can easily advise the customer of that. Now this is a Pro/Enterprise feature, and that is Active Directory groups. That's where you'd be able to see what groups this PC's in. Applications, we get to see what's installed on the PC. We don't have to log into the PC. We don't have to ask the user. We can see right away. So let's say Mary calls and she's having an issue with Silverlight. Well, we can see right away she has Microsoft Silverlight version 5.1.412.12.0 installed. And it was installed on April 19th, 2016. There might be a newer version of Silverlight, and we can hop right into PDQ deploy, and we can deploy the new version of Silverlight. Also, it supports custom fields, so if your organization has specific requirements, or you want to collect a little bit or additional information on a PC, you have the ability to add custom fields. Deployments. This is where it integrates in with PDQ deploy. However, this does require enterprise mode, not pro mode, so you will need an enterprise license to work with deployments. Disk drives. If this was a physical machine, it would tell you all sorts of information about the hard drive that's installed. Now, because this is a virtual machine, we have a virtual SCSI disk device, so we don't really get a lot of helpful information. But if this was a real device, we would see all the good details of it. We can see what is connected to it display-wise. We get to see the environment, the Windows environment. We can see, what the OS thing is. We can see all the paths. So what's in the system path? If the user needs a custom string in the path, we can add that. So for example, if they are a developer and they develop in Python, we can add Python to the path. And let's say they're having issues, they open up a ticket, we can come right into here and we can see, oh, Python's not in the path, and we can work with them to get it added. We can see information about the users who have logged in on this machine and so forth. Files. You can store files with a PC. For example, purchase orders, warranty claims. This happened to me all the time in the corporate IT world. We would have a laptop, a user would hand it to us, the screen's broken, we have to do a warranty claim on it. So we do all the paperwork, and we gotta store the paperwork, and we should store that with the machine. And with this, you're actually able to store that warranty claim information with the machine. The hardware, we get to see all the details about the hardware. Hot fixes, we can see all the different Windows updates that have been installed on this machine. We can see local groups and local users. If this was a physical machine, we'd be able to see information about the memory modules that are installed. Same thing with the NICs, it's picking up our main server NIC, so it thinks that it's a physical NIC. If there were any printers installed, we would be able to see them here. We can see processes. This is a live, it connects to the computer and it shows us the processes that are currently running on the machine. This is a Pro Enterprise mode feature where we can have product keys. If your organization uses retail keys and not volume license keys, this is a great way to store retail keys with the computer in case anything needs to be reinstalled. So for example, you purchase Office, you install Office, but you later need to reinstall Office, you can have the product key available in PDQ inventory. It's stored with that machine, so you'll never lose it. Registry, also this is a Pro Enterprise mode feature, but it does allow you to get into the registry and see what's going on. Scans, we can see all the historical data on scans through PDQ inventory that PDQ inventory did. We can see what services are running and stopped and installed. We can even control services. So for example, maybe somebody's having some weird issue with the service that you know of. We can just come in here and, you know, maybe the print spooler needs to be restarted. We can just click on the restart button and it's actually going to go through. It's going to contact the PC and it's going to restart the service. And it didn't require us calling the customer, didn't require us remoting it and disrupting the customer's work. We just click a button and it's done. We can also see what shares are on the PC. So if the customer has some files that are being shared with office mates that they shouldn't be sharing, we'll be able to see it here. So if they know how to right click on a folder and click on share, it'll pop up here. We can see what Windows features are installed. Occasionally you might need to have a custom feature installed. Maybe a developer needs IIS Express. With the Windows features section, you'll be able to see if it's actually installed or not. So we can see that IIS is not installed. Internet checkers, also not installed. We can also see different, everything. If it's a Windows feature, we can see if it's installed or not. And then this is also a licensed feature, but task schedules. Wouldn't it be awesome to manually or remotely manage task schedules? I use schedule tasks for everything in the corporate environment. Everything from rebooting PCs to rebooting servers to updating software to running reports for our executives to sending out password change reminder emails. Tasks are awesome. So this is a very cool feature. And that's it. That is it for the PC details. And as you can see, that's quite a bit of information. That information you usually get when you log into a Helpdesk platform. There are many Helpdesk platforms out there that have their own inventory solution built right in, such as Spiceworks. Spiceworks is one that we will also cover later in another video. But it has its own agent. It goes out, it scans your network, it'll tell you the exact same information, but each software has a different way of displaying it. Some has different features, as you can see, but overall the information is still going to be the same. Now one other thing that I wanted to talk about is grouping PCs, because as you can see here, this all the way down to workstations are built in groups. So as you add computers to PDQ inventory, it automatically sorts them out. So you can see here, memory has a bunch of subgroups. So we can see if it fits into 17 gigabytes or more, 4 gigabytes or less, 5 to 8 gigabytes, 9 to 16 gigabytes. Because you might have different needs, you can easily find the PCs that you need. Likewise, you can also create custom groups. That's a static collection or a dynamic collection. For example, static collection, I called it virtual PCs and I installed both of my virtual PCs in this collection. dynamic collection. This is a group that may change. So for example, I can come in here, I can target, let's say an application name contains, Microsoft Visual. And as you can see, this new collection pops up because these computers have items installed that are named Microsoft Visual. So whether it's Microsoft Visual C++ runtime or Microsoft Visual Studio, it's going to pop up in this collection. So this collection will change, which can be handy. It depends on your needs. I'm just going to remove it, but it can change and grow and shrink and stuff based on your needs. There's all sorts of different features and stuff. We'll go into the nitty-gritty later on, I promise. Again, this is just an introductory high-level overview. Reports, we can run reports, so like hardware devices. If we run this report, we can see exactly how many computers match each of these devices, and I can do a print preview. I don't have a printer installed, so I'm not going to be able to print anything. But here's a nice little overview of the report. I didn't format correctly, but it just gives me a count of systems. We can create our own custom reports and so forth, and we can export the information. Alright, so that has been a very high-level overview of PDQ inventory. You saw how it integrates in with PDQ deploy, and you also saw how we can do all sorts of interesting things with it to get information to better help our customers. So again, thank you for watching this Xinsto Career Series Helpdesk Technician video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and someone from our company will happily respond. And we will continue to make some dive into this series a little bit deeper. I think probably part 3 we will dive into PDQ deploy a little bit in more detail, and probably part 4 we'll jump back to PDQ inventory and go into that in a little more detail. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.